Are you an entrepreneur? Be kind to yourself is probably what I titled this video. Today we're going to talk about something very, very interesting, and it's just a thought. It's not too specific, but it will probably change the way you think about mistakes and about messing up, about failing in life in general. And it's certainly something that has helped me. And to be honest, I was taking a walk this morning, and this is what came to me. While I was talking to God, while I was just, thinking about life, about business, about a mistake that I did yesterday, that I made yesterday, and I'm going to tell you what mistake I made and what I've learned from it, because I'm sure it's going to bless you. Hey, my name is Vincent. Thank you for coming over to the RVALUED YouTube channel. I am a coach, at least that's what I tell myself, because I struggle with the imposter syndrome, as so many other people, as basically every single person on this planet. When it comes to, every single person that wants to build a business or achieve something great in their lives, become an expert and so on and so forth. So, I coach people to become their high performance versions. And what I mean by that is I coach people to manage their time, to become more productive, to, in general, master their health and optimize their performance so that they're able to concentrate for hours on end so that they can achieve something greater in their businesses by managing their attention and taking full ownership and responsibility for their health and performance. And it's a great journey. I love it, and this is what I'm doing. But let's talk about the actual thing that I want to talk about this morning. As an entrepreneur who wants to be a high performer, you need to give yourself the room to rest and to make mistakes. Okay, this is very important. You need to give yourself the room and you need to allow yourself to make mistakes. Okay, we need to do that. And I struggle with this myself sometimes. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I'm like, wow, I need to perform at my best. I need to do everything perfectly. I'm a perfectionist. So sometimes I'm not even starting a task until I feel like I'm able to do it perfectly. And that's backward, right? That kind of thinking is backwards, because you're never really going to start unless you accept the ability or the possibility of making mistakes, making a mistake or failing at what you're doing. And especially as entrepreneurs, if you are an entrepreneur, you are probably most likely to struggle with this yourself. You're like, hey, I'm not who am I to teach this? Who am I to build a business? Who am I to serve people? Who am I to reach my goals and make that money? Or for example, to reach those people on YouTube. Who am I to do this? I'm not an expert. Okay, and you struggle with this. So I struggle with this myself, And the thing is that it is okay to struggle, and it's okay to, be an imposter, or to at least feel like you have it's okay to struggle with the imposter syndrome, because we all do. There's basically no way to get around it. We all struggle with the imposter syndrome, which basically, if you don't know what the imposter syndrome means, it basically means that you feel like you're not good enough, and you feel like you are not, you don't have the authority to teach something or the authority to help someone. But really, I love what Timothy Ferriss says in one of his books. I think it was the 4-Hour Work Week. It says that, hey, oh man, this is so good. As long as you read one chapter ahead of your class, you're able to teach them. So there was this one movie, it's called Catch Me If You Can, and Leo DiCaprio plays the main role in it. And he's just running around. He's doing all sorts of stuff, and I haven't watched it in years. But what I remember is that he was a professor, a so-called professor at a university, and he was teaching a class. But he himself was not a professor. He was acting like a professor. He didn't have any knowledge about what he's doing. The only thing he had was a book, and he read that book before he went to class, and then he taught the class this class. He taught his students this class, but he was not an expert. Okay, all of what I'm saying, it may not make sense, and I'm kind of frustrated about that myself right now, because, it's a lot. And my head is basically, just it's filled with so many things, so many ideas and things that I want to share that sometimes I just lose track of it. But long story short, as long as you are one step ahead of someone else, you are able to teach them. As long as you're one step ahead of someone else on the mountain, you can help them climb the mountain and you can teach them the mistakes that they have made and so on and so forth. So here am I, Vincent. I live with my parents. This is my office. It's also my bedroom, but this is what I call my office, and this is where I'm at right now in life. And I am teaching people about high performance, about entrepreneurship, not really entrepreneurship and business, because that's a big thing, but I'm teaching people about their health, how they can improve their health and so on and so forth, so that they can actually achieve more in their businesses or as leaders, as high performers. And the thing is, one thing that I've realized, okay, now we're getting closer to what I actually want to say. The thing is that as someone who always wants to improve himself, as someone who always wants to become better, become a high performer, produce better content, see greater results, and achieve his goals, I'm always trying to improve. And whenever I make a mistake, or whenever I have a setback, or I fail at something, it feels like I'm a failure, right? And it feels like, wow, I'm like, who am I? Like, I'm no one. I'm nothing. Have you ever felt like that before? And the thing is that we all fail. We all fail. That's a wonderful thing. No, we all fail, especially as young entrepreneurs, as young leaders, we all fail. There's not one of us who always makes the right decisions. And we've been taught that we have to make the right decisions all the time, right? In school, for example, they don't really highlight the good stuff that you wrote in a task paper, on a task paper. They don't really highlight the good stuff that you wrote down, the good stuff that you made, the good things that you said or produced, but they usually highlight the mistakes you've made. And that gets us in a mindset space, in a way of thinking that, hey, it's bad to make mistakes. We always need to get it right. That's the only way we're going to move forward, right? That's the only way we're going to get that good grade. But in life, it's different. And that's one of the reasons why I don't really like the school system, because it's not really, it does not really show what life really is. You come out of school and you know nothing about life. And thankfully we have the internet. Thankfully we have the ability to read and study and listen to lectures and sermons and everything on YouTube. And we have people around us that can teach us. Because if we went out of school not learning anything from other people or from other sources, we would probably know, we wouldn't know a lot, right? But here's the thing, okay? Life is not always about performance. Life is not always about performance. And this is something I notice myself as a performance coach, as someone who wants to help entrepreneurs to perform better by, utilizing the right sleeping tactics, the right sleeping hygiene methods, by utilizing the right exercise regimens, by fixing the gut health and therefore reducing inflammation and helping people with their diet and nutrition so that they can think better and more clearly and, eliminate brain fog and all of these things. Sometimes we think that life is all about performance. Sometimes we think that, hey, at least I think, okay, I'm always talking about myself at this point, but also about some of the people that I met. Sometimes we think that, life is all about performance. Life is all about business. Life is all about succeeding. But the thing is, you will always make a sacrifice, okay? Sometimes you need to sacrifice your performance and your productivity to become more successful in other areas of your life. You need to prioritize, we all need to prioritize our emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being. Okay? That's probably something you haven't heard in a while. Because sometimes it seems like all we're talking about is business. All we're talking about is success. But really, what is more important than success in the first place? Your family? If you are married, your marriage? If you have a dog, your dog? No. But I mean, just in general, like your relationships matter, right? My church, it matters to me so much more than business and all of these things. So if I'm not taking care of these things, I'm sacrificing them. And we're always sacrificing. This is the point. We're always sacrificing something. Okay? And in order to become... Sometimes we think that in order to become more successful in business, we need to sacrifice other areas of our lives, which is, it's backwards. It's like, hey, money becomes my God, and I want to make money. But at the end of the day, money should become a tool that I can use. I should not serve money. Money should serve me. So if you are chasing money, you kind of lost track of what money is for. It's supposed to help you. You're not supposed to help money. You know what I'm saying? Okay, anyway, so give yourself the room to rest. And if you're dealing with the multiple personality stuff, then give yourselves the room to rest and give yourself the room to slack sometimes. Okay, yesterday I made a mistake. For those of you who don't know me, I'm currently on a ketogenic diet because it has helped me to, it just reduced inflammation in my body overall, and I have a lot less brain fog, and in general I'm able to perform better because I'm able to concentrate more and longer. I'm able to think more clearly. I am able to I just feel better when I'm eating keto. Okay, I also lost a little bit of weight, and that's actually one of the downsides that I have kind of noticed very strongly. As someone who loves to go to the gym and work out and build muscle mass, well, keto is not as easy as the conventional diet, because you're more likely to lose muscle mass in the sense that, hey, you're not able to eat enough because fats are very, very satiating. So you eat a lot of fats, you eat a lot of eggs and meats and bacon, and you're pretty filled very quickly. You don't have that hunger anymore. Your appetite is being stilled very quickly, as well as the hormones. Yeah, when you eat on a keto diet, well, let me tell you, your hormones are going to adapt, and your hormones are actually going to improve, and therefore you are probably going to experience a lot less hunger because your body is no longer dependent on the insulin and on the blood sugar levels that are always rising and falling. So you will probably have less hunger, which then leads you to eat less, which then can lead you to lose muscle mass, which I'm kind of experiencing right now. But being focused on my work is more important to me right now than having a lot of muscle mass. Okay? This may sound a little bit crazy. This may sound like, hey, bro, what are you talking about? But it's priorities. Life is all about priorities. And sometimes and now we're getting to the gist of this video. And I'm sorry, it took me basically 13 minutes to kind of get closer to what I actually want to say. But life is about priorities. And when you make a mistake in one area of your life, you're basically gaining some kind of benefit in another area of your life. Wow, thank you, Jesus. Thank you for this thought. If you understand this, please let me know in the comments down below. Let me repeat it. If you make a mistake in one area of your life, you are basically usually gaining some sort of benefit in another area of your life. Yesterday, I made a mistake. I abandoned my ketogenic diet. Okay, we have sweets at home, and I'm a sweet type of guy. I love me some good Hershey's. I love me some good chocolate. I love me some good sweets. I love him. I love him. You know, sugar is so much fun. And we had some sweets at home, and I saw them, and I was like, nah, really? And that's the thing. You should never expose yourself to a lot of temptation, because you're much more likely to fall, okay? And we had a bunch of sweets at home, and that was tempting to me. I ate like 2 or 3 bonbons, and then it overtook me, and I basically ate 2 handfuls. Now, that kind of led me out of the keto diet, because once you cross about 50 grams of carbohydrates, your body changes its metabolism and it no longer produces ketones. Okay, and then you're basically out and about doing your thing. Your body has to readjust, and you should never cross a 30 to 50 gram limit of carbs when you want to be in a keto diet, because that's when your body starts to change its metabolism. Now, I made this mistake, and basically what I did is I sacrificed my keto diet for that evening in order to have that short-term spike of pleasure. that short-term pleasure. And that's not really good. And I usually don't do this often. I'm usually someone who is able to discipline himself and say, no, I'm not going to do this right now. I'm not going to do this. But yesterday I did. And that's a mistake. And I'm here to admit it. I said, and oh man, 2 or 3 thoughts right there. But I made this mistake, and now there are 2 or 3 things going through my head. Number one is, hey, I'm teaching the keto diet on my YouTube channel. I'm teaching about nutrition and about, avoiding processed foods and processed sugars and all of that stuff in order to succeed as a high performer, succeed as an entrepreneur. Who am I to teach people something like this when I myself make mistakes and when I myself abandon my own rules and I don't follow them? Who am I? And that's the imposter syndrome. But then I realized that, hey, it's not about me in the first place. First, it's about the market and it's about my customer. And can I still serve my customer and give them the info that I have stored up in my head and in my heart since the last 5 to 8 years of me studying and researching nutrition, sleep, exercise, and mindset and habits? Can I still teach people that? Yes, I can. Okay? And I made a mistake yesterday, as I said. But there's the imposter syndrome right there. Who am I to teach people what to do when I don't do them myself, when I don't follow these things myself all the time? But that thinking is just not right. Now, one thing that I want to really just talk about very briefly is the fact that willpower is finite. We sometimes think that, oh man, we just gotta be very, very hard. We gotta be very, very disciplined, and we have unlimited amounts of willpower as long as we want to have them. Okay, so let's say you plan your days and you say, I'm gonna wake up at 5:30 in the morning. I'm going to eat that kind of breakfast. Then I'm going to work out. Then I'm going to work on my business for 6 hours. Then I'm going to meet that person. Then I'm going to do that call. Then I'm going to have that meal. I'm going to work on that skill and so on and so forth, and I'm going to go to bed on time and everything. Okay, because why wouldn't you? I mean, you want to become a high performer, you want to become your best version, so therefore you are going to do everything right. But the thing is that your willpower is finite. Okay, you only have a certain amount of willpower. It's like a battery, and as the longer the day goes, as the day goes on, your battery is getting more and more empty, and it needs to be recharged. And we recharge our willpower batteries through sleep, through proper diet and nutrition, through healthy activities. Okay, I'm talking about hobbies, creativity, art. All of these things can help us actually recharge our batteries. And there are many other things that we need to do in order to recharge our batteries. But one of the most important ones is sleep. So as you wake up in the morning, when you wake up in the morning, you have the highest amount of willpower. And as you go through the day, the amount of willpower you have decreases actually. And this is scientifically proven. There's evidence behind this. Now, this kind of destroys all of these, I'm sorry that I have to say this, but stupid motivation pages that just say, hey, team no sleep, work harder, work 24/7. Okay? I can sleep when I'm dead. That's backwards. That's just so wrong, and it's flawed thinking. I hate this type of thinking. It's so wrong. And we live in a culture where work is being idolized. We no longer work to pay our bills, but we now work because we want to work. Okay, and that's backwards. Okay, so we need to realize that our willpower is finite. Okay, there's only a certain amount of it. And as the day goes on, your willpower decreases. With every single choice that you make, with every single decision, and I've heard that we make something like 200 to 300,000 decisions each and every day, your willpower decreases. At the end of the day, you're going to have this much left. And you need to be very wise with that amount of willpower. In my personal, yesterday I made the mistake that I didn't go to bed on time, and I made a huge mistake. I ate I ate those sweets, and I abandoned my keto diet, and then I took my laptop and I went to my bed and lay down in my bed, and I just watched some YouTube videos. This is absolutely contrary to what I'm teaching all of you young entrepreneurs to do. You should never take your electronic devices with you in your bed. because they mess with your sleep. They decrease your sleep quality. Blue light is bad, 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 bad. No bueno when it comes to your sleep quality. You should cancel out all electronic devices about 1 hour before you go to bed. That's what I always recommend. That's a great guiding line. Yesterday, I didn't even follow that rule myself. I took my laptop and I went to bed and watched some movies. No, I didn't watch some movies, but I watched some videos. And I ate some sweets. So I myself as a coach made a huge mistake. But what did that do to me? And here's the thing. It helped me. It helped me to recharge. It helped me to just relax. I had a very long day yesterday. It was a wonderful day, but it was also a little bit tough. And emotionally, there was a lot going on. There was a lot going on spiritually, and there was a lot going on, in my life in general yesterday. So at the end of the day, I just wanted to relax a bit. And what did I do? Well, I didn't have much willpower left, so I said, okay, I'm just going to eat those sweets. I'm just going to relax. Now, today, I kind of deal with the consequences. I have minimal amounts of brain fog, but since my body is able to kind of readapt to the keto lifestyle fairly quickly, and it can happen within like 72 hours, or maybe even less than that, I feel pretty good. Okay, I'm here, I'm making this YouTube video, and I'm talking about this. So, it hasn't harmed me that much. Now, I need to be very careful because I am... I always struggled with skin issues. I always had acne and skin irritations. I always had allergies that showed up on my skin. But since I switched my lifestyle and my diet, I realized that, hey, I know what inflames my body. I know the sources that kind of create inflammation in my body. And inflammation is a very interesting thing and a very interesting subject that I'm not going to go into right now, but in future videos. And my skin health has improved greatly. I am able to think a lot more clearly for multiple hours at a time. And now I'm here and I want to teach other people the same thing. I want to teach young entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs in general how they can improve their health, their cognitive behavior, and cognitive behavior mannerisms and all of that, so that they can become their best versions. But again, don't beat yourself up when you make a mistake. And don't think that you are worth less because of your mistakes. Okay, this may sound a little bit, cheesy, but it is what it is. Don't beat yourself up. Life is not always, like this. It usually is like this. And we want it to go like this, but sometimes it's more like, woo! So, be careful to not really beat yourself up. An important skill that, in my opinion, every single entrepreneur and every single leader should have is the ability to adapt. So if you feel tired and unmotivated, adapt and give yourself the rest you need. If you feel excited and powerful, on the other hand, then also adapt. Switch from your rest, and this is usually what happens. We rest and then we are excited and powerful and we feel inspired. Then we need to readapt and we need to go hard in whatever we're doing, okay? We need to go hard in our businesses, in our education, in our finances, whatever is happening at that moment, okay? We always need to understand that there's the ability to bounce back. When we make a mistake, we can bounce back. And usually we can bounce back from a mistake in a matter of hours or days. So yesterday, yes, I made a mistake. But at the same time, this is what I was talking about earlier. I made a mistake in my nutrition, in my diet, and also in my sleep because I took my laptop with me inside of my bed. And that's something you should never, ever do. Your bed should be always reserved for sleep because we all know it. When we take our days with us in our beds, then we're going to think about our days and what all the tasks that we need to do and all of that jazz. So we should definitely make sure that we don't do these things. But yesterday it helped me to recharge. And look what's happening. Here I am. I'm talking to you. And I have a few other things on my to-do list today, and it helped me to recharge. So sometimes you need to sacrifice something in one area of your life to gain some sort of benefit or release in another area of your life. So yesterday I kind of sacrificed my diet and my nutrition and my sleep for a little bit of rest and emotional well-being, and that helped me. And this is life. This is, we need to be balanced. Sometimes we get way too imbalanced. And this is something we also look at when I coach a person. I just don't I don't just give them strategies and tools and all of these things like that. No, I analyze with them what their life is like, where they are at in life, and then I give them very, very individual advice on how they can change their life. Okay, because we are all different. You and I, we are at different spots, different places in our lives. And therefore, I'm not just going to give you. That's why investing in yourself with a coach, like investing in yourself and having a personal coach that coaches you and leads you and directs you and guides you, is so important, because YouTube videos can only teach you so much, and you pay more attention to what you pay for. So, yeah, always bounce back. When you make a mistake, bounce back, and realize that there are very, very few mistakes that are irreversible. Okay, usually you can always reverse the mistakes that you have made. Okay, my mistake of yesterday, I'm going to reverse it by now trying to continue to stick to my keto diet as best as possible. And worst case scenario is that I am going to feel bad for the next 2 or 3 days, but then I'm going to readapt. My metabolism is going to change back to keto, and I'm going to feel better. So you can always reverse a mistake, even a big mistake, with a little bit of effort and a little bit of time and patience, okay, and dedication and persistence. So whether you made or make a mistake in your sleep, your workout regimen, or your mindset, even when you sometimes think have a wrong thought, or you kind of slacked in your mindset, you can always bounce back. But you need to give yourself the permission to fail and learn to do so. You know, I love this little thing, and it's a quote, and it's a way of thinking that, hey, if you're not making mistakes, you're not making anything. If you're not doing mistakes, then you're not doing anything. You cannot really move forward in life without making mistakes. Okay, you cannot. It's like in school. In order to learn maths, you need to fail and really make some mistakes before you can learn how to, use formulas and so on and so forth. And I'm not a math expert. I'm the worst at maths. But that's what it is. So always understand that priorities. Life is about priorities and boundaries. Okay? Sometimes you need to, you don't have to always be a high performer. I'm a high performance coach, and I want my clients to perform great. I want them to master their health and their performance so that they can succeed in their businesses and in their, just endeavors, life endeavors, and in whatever they're doing, maybe ministry, maybe business, maybe entrepreneurship, whatever it is. But sometimes it is more important to, sometimes it's more important to take care of your relationships. Maybe go on a vacation, maybe relax, maybe hang out with a friend for 30, 40, 50, 60 minutes and, just eating, a cone of ice cream rather than worrying and stressing about your diet and about these ketones and everything. You see what I'm saying? This was a very, very long episode on the RVALUED YouTube channel. It was probably like 30 minutes. North actually. But I love these videos love these episodes because we can dive deeper. Yeah, I just love them. It's almost like a podcast format, and I'm actually thinking about making starting a podcast. I already have the name in my mind, and I think it's a great format because we can dive deeper rather than make like a 5 or 10 minute video where I can only explain so much, when in fact I'd like to build a relationship with you and talk about things more in depth. Now, I'm not saying that we're always going to make 30-minute videos. That's not the case. But I think 15 minutes and maybe even a tad bit longer than 15 minutes is a great place to be at. So to bring it full circle, priorities. Sometimes you just need to go on a vacation and forget about performance and lifestyle and business and all of that and habits, just to relax and recuperate, rejuvenate, and get back to what you've been missing out on. Sometimes we just need to do that. Okay, that's important. And if you're not taking vacations, or if you're not able to take vacations right now, give yourself the permission to just slack at home. Relax. Even spontaneously. And that's what I mean with adaptation. sometimes we just need to adapt spontaneously. We've been following our diet or training regimen for so long, and all of a sudden we feel like we run out of energy. And sometimes we need to utilize and cultivate discipline in those moments, but sometimes we just need to give ourselves the permission to say, okay, this far and no further. No further, okay? This is important. So I want you, and this is this YouTube channel is not all about me. It's not all about what I want to tell you, but it's also about what you have to say. So I want you to think about, it's almost like a little homework right here. I want you to think about an area of your life where you have been too hard on yourself. Analyze it and make adjustments that are necessary. Okay? Forgive yourself of any past mistake, because at the end of the day, not letting go is going to weigh you down and hinder you from moving on to the next chapter in your health, your performance, your relationships, your finances, your businesses, and so on and so forth. So analyze where you have been too hard on yourself. Your diet, your nutrition, your sleep. Analyze where you have not forgiven yourself. Forgive yourself, and boom. Move on. This life is too short to regret things. This life is way too short to not use our potential. This life is but a vapor. It's like a little cloud that comes and goes. Let's make the most out of it. Okay? Let's make the most out of our health. Let's make the most out of our relationships, our families. I'm a firm believer of the fact that health is wealth. And if you can take care of your health, it's going to spill and improve every other area of your life as well. It's kind of like me being a Christian. Jesus has absolutely changed every single area of my life, including my health. He has taught me so many things about health, probably more than anything else, really. So understand that health really matters, and it's going to improve when you can improve your health and your diet and your sleep and all of that, this is going to help you improve your work output, your relationships, your businesses, and everything. So thanks for watching this video. Again, my name is Vincent. I'm a coach, and I coach young entrepreneurs to become their high performance versions so that they can succeed and thrive in the marketplace. Be kind to yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for hanging out with me. It truly was a great pleasure. And I really appreciate you for taking the time to watch this video, for investing in yourself, in the sense that you really invested time to learn something new. And, we are all on this journey together. We all learn together. I am learning so many things just by talking to you and hearing from you. So be blessed and be encouraged. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.